Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? I hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, before we get started, I'm going to sample something here, which I've never tried before. It's a lager. It's a lager beer. AC/DC's own lager. AC/DC, yeah. It's called Highway to Hell. Going down to Hell's Lager, it says, like. And of course, it's based on their 6th studio album, Highway to Hell. And this was sent by Captain Ronnie, the chieftain of the Great Emerald Isle, who sent it over with a load of cans of Guinness. Well, the Guinness is all gone, but there's still this. And he said to me, I want you to drink it on camera. Drink it live on camera. Do it now. I want your reaction to it. Being as I'm not a proper lager drinker, well, I've drunk it. It's not my preferred tipple. Whiskey would be that, but as you guys know, I'm trying to cut back on the whiskey by drinking lots and lots of Murphy's, pints of Murphy's. I'm not sure if it's do me any good or do me less evil than the whiskey. I don't know. But anyway, let's give it a go. Now, this could explode. It could do, because it's crossed over the Irish Sea. So, no, we're all right. But okay, and I'm gonna, AC/DC is going into a pint glass with soft sell, hard rock, soft sell, strange bedfellows. And we're gonna try this, and then we're gonna get into the subject matter. Deadites. Oh, you've poured that rather naffly, haven't you, Kilty? Oh, look at that. No, this is not Guinness or Murphy's where you want a nice big creamy head on it. No. Oh, that's dreadful, isn't it? I apologise, folks. But cheers, you all. A hard rockers beer in a new romantic, synthy 80s sugary soft sell pint glass. Cheers, you all. It's frothy, man. That's nice. That's really nice. I think it's 4.5%. But cheers, Captain Ron. Cheers, everybody. That's very nice. It's kind of light. It doesn't taste strong at all. It's not strong. 4.5% is not exactly strong, is it? It doesn't taste strong. There's a bit of flavour to it. There's a bit of hops going on. You know, it's, yeah, little bit effervescent, as lager should be. Bit zesty. Yeah. It's not very hellish. It doesn't inspire thoughts of, you know, the Stygian depths of hell. You know, torment and despair. No, Satan and Beelzebub rocking out. No, it's kind of more pleasant. It's more soft sell, to be honest. Cheers, y'all. Anyway, The Evil Dead. Yes, we love it. The entire franchise. Well, you've had 3 proper Raimi directed movies. Evil Dead, which I love. Evil Dead 2, which we all love. And Army of Darkness. I was going to say Evil Dead 3. Army of Darkness, which we all know should have been called, what? Say it with me. The Medieval Dead. Sam, why? Why didn't you go with that? It was a working title, and it's perfect. It's set in medieval fantastical land. The Medieval Dead. Oh, no, we're going to call it Army of Darkness. Oh, God. Anyway, Evil Dead is a great horror movie. It is funny, it is tongue-in-cheek, it is spoofy, it's cheesy, but it's got genuine frights, chills, scare, suspense, and uber violence and gore. Evil Dead 2 reigns back on all of that. It's still oodles of creepiness and weirdness and ghoulish makeups, and there's violence aplenty, but it's not that gory, and what gore you get tends to be of a different colour. Look at Predator Badlands, How to Bring a Certificate Down. You have lashings of gore, but make it green and blue and yellow. You know, anything but red. Don't do red. That's nasty. But Evil Dead 2 is one of the best examples of the horror comedy. It works on almost every level apart from the uber goriness, and I love it. I think I've done a watch party for it. I've covered all these movies a lot in the past. Army of Darkness, yeah, it's a pastiche and an homage to Ray Harryhausen. It is creepy. There's elements of horror there, but it's not a horror film. You know it. I know it. It's not a horror film. It's just a bit of Bruce Campbell tomfoolery, and we love it. And then of course you get Fede Alvarez 2013, the reboot, remake, yada yada yada, Evil Dead, which I didn't like at first, as you guys know, but now I really highly rate it. I've changed my opinions on it quite drastically, and I have covered it on the channel. Great movie, love it to bits. Uber violent, very sick, very mean-spirited. And then 2023, 10 years later, we get Evil Dead Rise from, I forgot the guy's name now, Lee Cronin. And yeah, I loved it. So at day one, first possible screening, loved it, reviewed it. But weirdly, I haven't gone back to it much, or even really at all. But I will do. I've got nothing against the film at all. I think it worked terrifically. The great dynamic in the apartment block and all that, and the gore and violence was still there. The Deadites were still scary. The mother was creepy as hell. So for me, it worked. And now we're going to get another one. Yes, Evil Dead Burn. And this one is by Sebastian Vanacek, a French guy who did the film Infested, otherwise known as Les Vermines, about a ghettoized Parisian apartment complex which gets overrun with spidras. Yes, nasty spidras. A big spider invasion of toothy, mandibled, venom-spitting little bastards which take over the entire place. It goes into lockdown, and yeah, it came out the same sort of time as the film Sting, about an alien spider which takes over another apartment complex, but gets bigger and bigger. But whereas Sting, which I've reviewed, is a proper monster creature feature movie, and it is great. I really enjoyed it. Could have been nasty, but it is. I still really enjoy it. Infested is nowhere near as nasty or as frightening as you may think. Arachnophobes, you may still want to stand well clear, because in Infested, Sebastian Vanacek wasn't using CG. There's a lot of CG there, but shitloads, containers loads worth of real spiders, huntsman spiders, which they did digitally manipulate to make them look a little bit bigger, because they do get bigger as the film goes on. And various people get trapped in their apartments, they form alliances and allegiances, and there's a big backstory to it. And in fact, the problem, if you see it as such with Infested, is that it's actually more about social dynamics and ethnic minorities and xenophobia. That's the background that's playing to, and just throw in a load of spiders as well, which are killing people. But this film brought Sebastian Vanacek to the attention of Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi, one of the most hyperkinetic, most cinema verite, verisimilitude, throwing the words in today, aren't I? But whirligig camera work, really intense visuals, uber creepiness, lots of things going into people's mouths and eyes and stuff like that, that's what Raimi likes to do. And he saw in Vanacek's movie, there's elements of what I love here, and there definitely is. Some of the scenes are trying to creep through corridors where the lights go out. Also, the lights go on, because that scares the spiders. They freeze, and they can walk, but the lights go out again, and they're after you. It's got loads of suspense to it, and loads of great camera work, so I think that's what drew Raimi's attention. So anyway, Vanacek gets the gig for Evil Dead Burn, which is definitely a French take on the Deadite mythos, the whole Necronomicon thing, which I think will be an interesting slant. Funnily enough, even though it's a French-made movie and it's Raimi producing and Robert Tappert again, like Evil Dead, Fede Alvarez, like Evil Dead Rise, and like Ash vs Evil Dead, the entire TV show, which was great. I love it. I don't really talk about it too much because it's played a lot more for laughs. I know the gore is outrageous. Some of the stuff in it is just way out there, but you can't take it seriously. I do like it though, and I think the 25-minute episodes they were. Well, I like episodes to be longer. Just So I had a few little niggles with it, but overall I did enjoy it. But that, Ash vs Evil Dead, Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead, and Evil Dead Rise were all filmed where? In New Zealand. Tax, obviously. But a lot of Raimi stuff's done down there now. And this film, Evil Dead Burn, for Sebastian Vanacek, Frenchman, is going to be filmed, well, it has been filmed in New Zealand again. Yeah. So, let's look at the cast. We don't know much about it. And for those of you who say, oh, I've seen the trailer for it ages ago. No, you haven't. There is no official trailer for it. What you've seen all over YouTube and other platforms, it's AI generated crap. That's not the film at all. It's not. But the cast we have in this movie, I might mispronounce this, Suela Yacoub, who is Swiss, Hunter Duhan is American, Lucian Buchanan is a New Zealander, along with Tandy Wright, another Kiwi, and then you got George Pullar, who's Australian. So you got quite a diverse mix of people there. But there's going to be a very Gallic slant to this. We do not know at all what the story is. The Necronomicon features, obviously, it's going to feature, isn't it? You've got to recite the incantation, Kanda, Kanda, Kanda. And then obviously all hell will break loose. Oh, hell, you say? Cheers, y'all. Now, Vanacek's directed it and co-written it as well. It's been test screened. Now, I mentioned this video literally a few days ago, but lots of other things have happened. You know, life unspools around you, trips you up. But we got wind that, well, we got wind. If you're drinking lager, you're definitely going to get wind, aren't you? It's been test screened to rip-roaring success. Rip-roaring. It brought the house down. A couple of test screenings and everyone loved it. Now, I used to have a couple of guys that sent me sort of inside information. Remember, I used to brag about this occasionally. These like leaks would come out, and they were pretty. One was, I'd say, 60% on the money, but one was 95% right all the time. But horribly, both of them have just disappeared. God, like that, they were gone. And I hear nothing from them now. They've been silenced. They've been silenced, or they've been bought, or they've been assassinated. You know, because the world of film spoilery it's tooth and nail. It's ruthless. Assassins, good like Jason Bourne to get ahead of the mob. Anyway, I heard nothing from them. But it is widely known this was test screened and it was a rip-roaring success. Everyone loved it. Now, Vanacek has said this is a curious thing to say. He said this is not the goriest Evil Dead movie, but it is the most brutal. Ooh, okay. Being an Evil Dead film, we kind of do want the gore. If you look at the track record, it's only the likes of Evil Dead 2, which has plenty of uber violence, but it is watered down when it comes to the gore. Army of Darkness really isn't that gory. It's not, just not. There's fountains of gore at one point, but it's so ludicrous. The witch in the air, the dungeon. You know, it's not that bad at all. It's kid friendly. But then you get Fede Alvarez, who ramped up both the gore and the serious, mean-spirited brutality. Whereas you could laugh because of the OTT nature of Evil Dead, the first one, which is still outrageously gory. You could laugh at it because it was so over the top. Fede Alvarez, no, that was wince-inducing, and it's dark and very, very nasty. Evil Dead Rise kind of harks back to Raimi. It's OTT, it's brutal, but everyone goes on about the cheese grate a bit. That really wasn't the worst in it. There's chainsaw mayhem. There's also rippings and gouges and there's loads of stuff that's in it. But it wasn't that disturbing, if you know what I mean. It was still a lot of fun to watch. Now, so you've had that Ash vs Evil Dead, then that is just OTT outrageous gore from start to finish. Great makeup effects, great monsters, great deadites, great, just, you know, but good fun. It's clearly very, very tongue in rotting cheek. And then you get Vanacek's version. Now, it's not going to be the goriest, but it's going to be the most brutal. I'm going to put you through it. He said, where's its effect? With a very French accent, obviously. I'm going to put you through the mill with this one. You're going to hurt. this is going to be painful to watch. And by all accounts, again, everyone who's seen the test screenings who's reported on it has given absolutely fuck all away. You know, they've got to sign a little disclosure, non-disclosure things, haven't they? And they haven't said anything at all about the plot or any sequences in it, nothing whatsoever. But they've all said, yeah, it is profoundly nasty, it is really brutal, it's really intense. Well, they're saying all the things you want to hear. So I am well looking forward to it. Now, I mentioned the CG bullshit AI trailers that have come out. Forget about them. We're getting a trailer for this in February. Now, we're now January the 22nd. So in a scant few weeks, you'll have a trailer for it. And the film does come out July 2026 this year. July 24th. I was going to say July the April 24th then. 24th of July. And yeah, so a summertime movie. I don't mind it. You get all these people who go like, oh, horror films are best in the winter time, the fall, and then Christmas time. I don't know. A film comes out when it comes out, and I'll go and see it if I want to see it. I don't really care about what time of year it is. You know, if you're going to be like really, you know, anal about these things, they should all come out at Halloween. All horror films should come out at Halloween. Unless they're set at Christmas, then come out at Christmas. Yeah. But have advanced screenings at Halloween, you know. So, but I am way looking forward to this. But in a way, it's perhaps good that I hung fire before reporting on it, because more news has broke literally in the last, well, overnight basically, that the next Evil Dead movie has been announced. We knew it was going to happen. Raimi and Tappert had always said, you know, we're going to go on with this. There'll be different directors and different takes in maybe different parts of the world, who knows? But all filmed in New Zealand, suspiciously. Because we've got the next one has been announced, and they've got the cast lined up for it already. Now, did I write this down? I didn't write the cast down, I know that. But the guy behind the next one is another European, Francis Galuppi. Well, I'm saying he's European, he sounds European to me. And the only film I know he's done is The Last Stop in Yuma County. I haven't seen it, I don't know, can't comment. I do know the 310 to Yuma pretty well, but I don't know this one at all. But he's got his cast together for it. And I did read the names. I haven't written them down. I didn't know any of them. I knew none of them at all. Looks like a young cast. But, so, clearly, Raimi and Tappert and co know that the Evil Dead franchise is only gaining strength. This film hasn't even come out, Evil Dead Bad, hasn't come out yet. But the test screenings are a powerhouse. So that's told them enough already. But they've already, before those test screenings were done, this was obviously in the works. This, which will be what, the 6th movie? Let's work it out. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. This is just films I'm talking about now. Evil Dead, Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead Bad. So that will be the 7th. The 7th movie will be coming out. Now, obviously, these films seemingly don't take that long to shoot. Obviously, you got post-production stuff like, not sure how much CG will be involved. The thing about the Evil Dead movies is they don't dwell on, CG may well be there, but they do pride themselves on the majority of the effects, almost all of them in fact, will be practical, maybe embellished with a bit of CG, but they are practical effects. And it's probably the last bastion really of horror movies to do that franchise-wise. So cheers to all you practical effects gurus. You can do so much with CG, obviously, but your eye knows it's CG. We know it. It's obvious. It may look tremendous. I mean, look at the Avatar movies, or don't, as the case may be, because I don't like them at all. Boring. And no, if you love them, you love them. That's fine. But not for me. But you know, they are gorgeous to look, absolutely gorgeous to look at, full of depth, and they're so energetic and vibrant and like wow and kinetic. But you know it's all fake. Whereas you watch real practical effects being done in front of a camera with the real actors standing there or having it done to them, being attacked by a practical puppet. You know, you can see that's real. Their reactions, their interaction is real. It's genuine. Okay, there's people off camera who are pumping blood and, you know, operating, you know, gyros, making things pop and lumps and change your heads and stuff like that. But it's part of it. And it can look really, really effective. Case in point, The Thing still stands up today. Norris's head coming off his shoulders. Okay, now admittedly it was green, it wasn't all red. They got away with that. That would have been really really extreme, wouldn't it? If Norris's head tearing itself off his body while they're all distracted by the other thing coming out of his chest and all that, like, if that had all been red, oh, that would have been really stomach churning. It's bad enough as it is. And it sliding down the side of the table and then across the floor with its tongue wrapped round the chair leg and then sprouting spider legs. That head, that is Charlie Hallahan, who played Norris. That is his head. That's him. It's like how they did it. They got his curly hair exactly right and his eyes are just right. Everything's right about it. And it's real. It's there and you know it. So I think, well, I'm hoping that Vanacek's movie, Evil Dead Burn, is going to keep up that tradition. I haven't heard otherwise, so I am presuming it's going to be real. Infested, yeah, there was CG embellishments, but they used thousands and thousands of real bloody spiders, you know, and some of the cast were real bad arachnophobes. They had to go to like spider school beforehand to learn how to, you know, they're not that bad. But then again, you're going to get the best reaction from someone who's terrified of spiders, and you're looking at one of them right now. Although I'm a lot better. Even though I've been bitten, I am the unlucky recipient of not one but 2 nasty spider bites. Yeah, I mean, I've shown you them as well. I've covered all that before, and they were pretty bad, and they were just British common or garden giant house spiders. That's what they're called, giant house spiders, and they can be bloody big. But every spider carries toxin, every single spider, and it's the little ones which are the worst. The little ones pack a punch. The big ones are just like, well, I'm fucking scary. I'll give you a heart attack, then I'm gonna fucking eat you, you know. But their toxins, their venom is not that potent to human beings. Anyway, so I don't like spiders. I want to love them. I think they're genius creatures. They're fascinating, but they are absolutely one of the best things to make a horror film with, you know, because you literally 80% of your audience are going to be shit scared of these. So you're on to a winner already. A spider's crawling across the camera, across the screen. Ah! Then you see it on someone's face. Ah! You know, and obviously it's going to work. And Infested has that. But it didn't creep me out anywhere near as much as I thought it would. I thought this is going to be a tour de force. This is going to be a real... if I can get through this, I can get through anything. Well, I got through it with really no issues whatsoever. It didn't bother me at all. The situation would be terrifying, but, you know, visually speaking, I wasn't palpitating. I was all right with it. But I've learned to accept spiders to the point, he says, pointing, where I've even looked at getting spiders as little pets. Yeah. Oh, I don't mean your tarantulas. I don't mean them. And I've got a lot of friends who have these things, but no, I'm not going that far. I mean the little jumping spiders, the little tiny ones who are dead cute. The little fuzzy little things, and they've got little smiley faces. They look unbelievably cute. Everyone calls them spoods. And I've been looking at this quite a bit, but we've got a cat now, and a cat likes spiders, likes to break their legs and flick them around, then eat them and spit them out. Yeah, she likes spiders a lot. As a snack and a plaything. So we won't be keeping any jumping spiders. Anyway, but this guy, Vanacek, does seem like a good choice. His directorial style, when it comes to the intensity of certain scenes, trying to escape the spiders and them converging. And yeah, there are some really, you know, raw bits of, you know, footage in that movie, which are good. If you don't like spiders, it's going to work. So he can bring that to a Deadite movie, put people in really extreme situations of, you know, dire jeopardy. Something crawling towards him, like, yeah, spitting blood, or maybe not blood, spitting teeth out. That's brutality. It's not gore. And I grab an order, and I'm like, what things I'm going to do to you as I drag you to hell, you know. I'll swallow your soul. But first of all, I'm going to swallow your eyeballs. Yeah, I think you could bring a lot to it. So I'm actually really, really looking forward to it. was going to say something, a phrase I can't stand. I'm really jacked. I'm stoked for this. No, I'm not. I'm stoked for this. I'm jacked up. No. I'm just pleasantly excited about this. I think it could be a lot of fun, and you'll get a lot more coverage. We do not know who's doing the score for it. I bet you, while I'm doing this video, that news will break, but I don't know who's doing the score for it. And the music for the Evil Dead movies, I have loved. Uniformly, I've loved them. Joe LaDuca did the scores for the first 3 movies, and also Ash vs Evil Dead. Before your shouts out at me, Danny Elfman supplied the March of the Dead for Army of Darkness, but LaDuca did all the rest of the music for it. And you're hearing the first Evil Dead score right now, which is so creepy and inventive and crazy and wonderful that I play it more than any other Evil Dead score going. Well, apart from one. I'll be honest. Roque Banos, who did the score for Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead. That is one hell of a roller coaster ride. Bravura, intensity. We should play some of it, shouldn't we? We should. Kilty, do it. Right, let's go back here. There is such a great piece of music here. Okay, we're gonna go for this. There we go. With chanting, with real pulsating, wild percussion, brass, everything shrieking, and demonics. This is brilliant. This is so exciting. This piece of music. It's a big lengthy cue. This is the finale of the movie, where the abomination rises. I will say that in Evil Dead 2010, and there's the siren, Roque Banos was staying in an apartment whilst composing this. Or what first heard about, you've got the gig for this, in Madrid. And he kept hearing in wee small hours, police sirens wailing up and down the street outside, and he found it so haunting. He put it into the score, this discordant, blurting siren, and it really, really works. I was going to say, the only thing I don't like about, even though I reappreciate Evil Dead, is the abomination itself. Oh, the abomination's going to rise, but what comes up is just a female gangly form. It is pretty nasty what it does, but you kind of wanted some big Leviathan creature, you know, with tentacles and lots of teeth and about 39 arseholes and a million eyes, you know. But it's just a gangly, not like the Ringu had come out a bit messed up, like after being hit by a juggernaut or something. But I still love the movie. So we don't know who's scoring this Evil Dead Burn. The title, at the risk of sounding a bit hypocritical and paradoxical, I hated the title Halloween Kills, as you well know, and the fucking film as well. But I hated it because it means nothing. Halloween Kill. What Halloween? Halloween sucks when Blumhouse do it. But Halloween Kills. It's like, it's just like it's a list of kills. He goes in the middle chapter of this new trilogy. Halloween Kills. Just number them all. It means fuck all. Halloween kills time. Halloween just, oh god, kills your will to live. But Evil Dead Burn, I don't mind it. The thing about these titles, the first one's called The Evil Dead. The second one is called Evil Dead 2. Then you get Army of Darkness. And now you're really thinking, oh, Kilty, you're so right. It should have been called The Medieval Dead. But it'd be perfect, wouldn't it? Well, of course it would. And then you get just Evil Dead. Okay, well, it's like The Thing prequel. It was just called The Thing. A very singular lack of originality and creativity there. But then you got some Evil Dead. Then you get Evil Dead Rise. Well, I didn't mind that. The way the title came up as well, and the imagery on screen was, I see why you've called it that now. But the Deadites always rise, don't they? They rise up from the depths, and I swallow your soul, you know. Dead by dawn. I'm trying to compete with this now. And Evil Dead Burn. So Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead Burn. I don't mind it. I don't even know what it means. I don't know what the significance of it is. Presumably a lot of flames will be involved in this. You always try to burn the book, aren't they, and all that, like, but in the first one certainly. But I don't know. I don't mind it. There is no subtitle for or tagline for the next one coming along. It's just another Evil Dead film. That's all we know so far. But you can bet your last arse hair that I will report on everything to do with the new one as soon as I know about it. There's that siren again. This is so hysterically fucking hyper. And the poor final girl is like legging it round, losing an arm and all sorts of stuff. And it's just, it's fucking wild. It sounds great. It's so bizarre. I love how like a creative person will find invention and inspiration in the most crazy corners. A police siren, a wailing siren, which means there's trouble. There's shit on the streets. No, isn't there always? Pick up after your doggies. And someone's obviously had a horrible sort of, set to. Someone's bleeding out in the gutter. So that noise is not a good thing, And if you're committing a crime, you don't want to hear that noise either. But it works great in the context of this, because it gets your heart beating faster. It gets you more anxious and agitated. So he knew what he was doing, Roque Banos. But let's go back onto the original, because I genuinely feel that no one talks about the original Evil Dead anymore. They don't. A cult celeb, a massive video nasty, notorious movie which rocked the establishment in the UK, rocked everywhere to be honest, but an amateurish movie in many ways. Don't knock the acting. Bruce Campbell's great in it. In fact, he's probably the worst one in it, if we're honest. But he does become, after being a weakling and a coward, he becomes the champion, the hero, the saviour, the vengeful fighter back of the Deadites, and loses his girlfriend and his sister, his busy mate. And but Ellen Sandweiss, who plays, is it Sand? I'm never sure if that W in Sandweiss or is it Sandweiss, but that W is pronounced as a V. I don't know. But anyway, she plays "I'm your sister Cheryl." She's outstanding. Her terror, initially, because she's the one who's like, so something's not right here, and the automatic, drawing and all this, and then she gets raped by the trees and all that. There's something in the woods. They're alive and all that. She's telling him, it won't let us leave, and the car won't start, and it goes, and the car will start. There's some great character moments in there, but she's outstanding because and of course when she's possessed, suddenly once they've become possessed, all the women become much better actresses, much more determined, much more like bravado, and like they're really into character, aren't they? So yeah, I love the first one, and I've got a feeling I'm going to love all the offerings. Ash versus Evil Dead definitely has its moments, and some great cameos, of course. Lucy Lawless, Lee Majors, there's some great ideas in there. Bruce Campbell has done a couple of things now. He said that I'm never returning to play Ash again. I'm never doing it again. But there's always that threat of a little cameo. There is the cameo at the end of Fede Alvarez. There is his cameo in Evil Dead Rise, although it's only a voiceover, but it's brilliant. Groovy. But the thing is, if you're making a really hard-edged, serious, no-holds-barred, brutal Evil Dead movie, then Bruce Campbell, he really can't do it. Bruce the Chin, I love him. We all love him as an actor, but has he ever played anything serious which we've been convinced by? I don't think so. He's great as Ash, but he said, I've done this, and I'm too old for all the splat stick and the pratfalls and the doing his own stunts, uber violence. you know, acrobatics. Evil Dead 2, you know, smashing his head into the sink. Boom, boom, my teeth. It's all overdubbed, obviously, and then the forward flip. Whoa, he's outstanding. That's right. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? I mean, you've got that. That's gory, but the manic look on his face as well. Like, but God, I so want to watch Evil Dead 2 again. I've always said Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, I love them both equal measure. If I'm in the mood for a more dark horror with genuine scares that make you jump, Evil Dead is the one. But if I'm going to just have a really entertaining and still ghoulish time, Evil Dead 2 is the one. Out of all the entire lot, Evil Dead 2 is probably the most genuinely enjoyable from start to finish and repeatable. And it's down to Bruce Campbell, of course. And Bobby Joe! This is great, by the way. So if you can get your hands on some cans of AC/DC Highway to Hell, then do so. It's very, very nice. It's what those drinkers of the beer hunters, let's call them, the ones who like all the cask ales and the real ales, and they have their little beer Bible with them, and they write notes, and they have a scratch and a little half, a little measure of each new one. Oh yeah, I'll have a pint of that. And they try them all. Oh, there's some downstairs in the cellar. They're not upstairs yet on the pumps, but I can get you a scratch of them. And then look, doting bar staff go down to the cellar with a little scratch board, like, and they put glasses, little tipples of each of the new ones downstairs, which haven't gone online yet properly. Try those. And I know these people. One of them I knew really well. He's always got it's a definite FG. And you're meant to go, what's an FG, John? Fucking gorgeous. But what he would do, like with this, I think he this actually tastes more. There's a bit more hoppiness, a bit more, I don't know, more beery taste to it than a normal shrill lager. You'd be going like, make little notes, full of character, floral note, and they go like, yeah, it's called session beer, which means it's not too strong, but you can have a few of them, you know. Session beer. I have session whiskies, and my session can last all fucking day long, you know. Anyway, cheers you all. Joe LaDuca scored many big movies as well, including Brotherhood of the Wolf, Les Packs de Loup, one of my favourite films of all time. I've talked about it a lot, and I know you guys have seen it as well, or many of you have, after I banged on about it so much, and it moved everyone that has gone like, I watched that film, that French martial arts, horror, action, suspense, historical drama that you talked about, and you know what? I loved it. It was definitely FG, fucking great, you know, fucking gorgeous. And we did the score for that, and the score was so eclectic and weird, very European, very sort of medieval and 17th and 18th century, very Renaissance, very baroque and weird, but also pulsating and exciting and very lyrical and moving, very romanticised. But he learns on the hoof, did Joe LaDuca, with this for Sam Raimi. He had no idea what he was doing. He's like, well, I've got to try and match music to this. There's a pencil in her ankle. The fuck? She's getting raped by a tree. What? How do I? But it came up with a wonderful score, and it's the eeriest score out of the entire franchise, I would say. Anyway, folks, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna finish this off. Got stuff to do. I've got something else to show you, and I've got an unboxing to do. He says, pointing over to the box itself, and it's a mystery movie canvas from, yes, Steve 007 Smith. You know him, you love him. Yeah, him and his elves have been at it again. No, not in the biblical sense. A canvas there, and I know what it is, or rather, I think I know what it is. And you know what? Mrs. Kilt-Man says, like, you know, if you are 100% certain you know what it is, why don't you just let Steve win once in a while? Because I always get these. I always get them right. And guess what? There was no clues on this one. No clues at all. Apart from the one thing he did say, which I'll tell you when I unbox it, which has put me straight onto it. And I got back to him messaging and said, like, I think I know what that is, mate. And he went, yeah. And I gave a little clue of my own. And he went, yeah, we're on the same wavelength there with that canvas. So I'm convinced I know what it is. And it'll be great. It'll be great. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, Captain Ron. Cheers, Astrodyne, who sent this soft cell pint glass for Mrs. Kilt-Man. But being as Mrs. Kilt-Man drank one of my cans of Guinness from Captain Ron, I'm using her pint glass to drink a lager. And thanks to Steve Douglas and Smith as well, because we'll be looking at that later on. So folks, I have been along with Shelby Kilt-Man, so please in the meantime, this ever alcoholic slurping in between time, cheers y'all. Please keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all in a cabin in the woods. Dead by dawn, dead by dawn. It's like Ash is getting his head beaten against the wall. Boom, boom. I love it. These films are so anarchic. They're brilliant. I'm out of here, folks. Take it easy. And don't go playing any strange tape recordings. Just saying. Kanda!